Tzu Chi participates in the first UN World Humanitarian Summit in Istanbul, Turkey. The first batch of Tzu Chi blankets from Taiwan arrived in Alberta, Canada for wildfire victims. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. The United Nations held the first World Humanitarian Summit in Istanbul, Turkey on May 23rd and 24th. Among the organizations present at the summit, Tzu Chi Foundation was the only religious organization invited. Let's take a look.
At the World Humanitarian Summit held in Istanbul, Turkey, world leaders and representatives from different countries have met up to draft protocols to prevent and reduce conflicts and human suffering. At the first World Humanitarian Summit held by the UN, representatives from 150 countries will meet up. Tzu Chi, which has been delivering humanitarian aid worldwide, has become the only religious organization being invited by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs.
The master has led Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide in helping victims of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, refugees and quake victims in Ecuador. In the big family of the United Nations, they have gradually discovered the important role of religion.
Besides being invited to attend the roundtable talk at the summit, Tzu Chi is also sharing its humanitarian innovations among the 300 exhibition stalls there.
We have
a stall here and another one upstairs. We display humanitarian innovations at the stalls upstairs. Since Professor Tzu Chi and I speak Arabic, one of us will stay here while another one serves upstairs. I believe many guests from Arabic countries will be coming in the next 2 days.
130 million people are in need of assistance because of conflicts and disasters, and the number is still rising. The United Nations hopes that the world leaders and representatives of different countries at the summit will make a commitment to prevent and reduce conflicts and human suffering.
Also at the UN World Humanitarian Summit, an exhibition was held to showcase the newest developments in disaster relief response. Let's take a look at how the newest technological innovations are being applied to address humanitarian issues.
Welcome to the UN World Humanitarian Summit. In addition to the UN Roundtable discussion, there are also 2 exhibition areas, and I'm visiting one now. These exhibits are all meant to showcase the newest technological innovations that are being developed to aid in response to humanitarian crises. Being unprepared or unable to deal with natural and man-made disasters is a serious cause for concern in the modern era. The World Humanitarian Summit is an opportunity to address important humanitarian issues, including the provision of clean water.
Normally in an emergency situation, water is always an issue. We think that with this solution it can help a little bit, especially at the beginning when there's a problem with supplies and with large organizations who cannot access an area.
I love the fact that innovation is now being more open rather than traditional results, which is massive tents and tarpaulins. So it's a very exciting time to see this.
Tzu Chi was invited to the summit and decided to display its innovative disaster response furniture series, while at the same time spreading Tzu Chi's message of love and compassion.
This is designed with love and respect for the refugees. With this invention, we hope that when they use it, they will find it extremely convenient and comfortable. We hope they can feel the thought and care we put into these innovations.
Here at the UN World Humanitarian Summit, a total of 300 governmental and non-governmental organizations are here driven by the need and the inspiration to do more to help people across the world and to address important humanitarian issues.
As the refugee crisis worsens, Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide have taken actions to provide humanitarian aid. Let's take a look at how Tzu Chi volunteers reach out to refugees in different parts of the world. Forced to flee their countries due to wars in the Middle East, millions of refugees have traveled to Europe. Due to European Union's changing policies, many became stranded in Serbia, where they met these volunteers in the fierce winter. The volunteers hand out warm jackets.
The jacket is okay? Okay, good.
When the refugees go hungry, they help provide hot food.
The rice was good. It was like our custom rice because in Afghanistan we eat every night rice. It's our dinner, mostly with rice. It was very good, like our custom foods.
A boy who rarely smiles eventually talks about his aspirations on camera.
I have dreamed to be famous, to be rich, to be rapper.
Okay.
To tell our stories to the world.
While the refugees patiently wait for the train heading to their next destination, they also hope to continue their friendship with Tzu Chi volunteers.
Thank you very much, Taiwan. Thank you very much. Good very much.
شكرا تايوان. شكرا كل شيء قدمته. Thank you Taiwan.
88 Tzu Chi volunteers from 15 countries have taken turns to help the refugees in Serbia over the course of 34 days. While there are a few Tzu Chi volunteers in Europe, they do their best to assist refugees. In Munich, the first stop for refugees who reached Germany, Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Shuwei has been staying next to the refugee shelter with her cell phone turned on 24 hours a day.
Many children have caught a cold, probably because they cannot adapt to the new environment. So they also call me in the evenings. Sometimes they call me early in the morning. Therefore, I place my phone next to my bed, being on call 24 hours a day.
Perugia in Italy has taken in refugees from North Africa. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers in Italy and Germany have joined hands to organize a gathering to distribute aid supplies and express their care.
All of us have felt that we are surrounded by love. I hope we can pass on the care we received today.
In Canada, the federal government has provided flights for refugees. Volunteers from Tzu Chi Canada chapter have also visited the refugees, delivering furniture and daily necessities, including school bags.
And the mother said every time she sees me, she gets the hope. She feels very confident that there is a hope and there is a better life.
Tzu Chi volunteers have reached out to refugees who have been through treacherous journeys and helped them settle down in foreign land. They hope their efforts will help the refugees see hope as they start a new chapter of their life. The number of refugees at the point at which the Iraq, Syria, and Jordan borders meet is still increasing. When Tzu Chi volunteers held a distribution in February, there were 1,500 people, but now there are over 12,000 of them. On their latest visit there, Tzu Chi volunteers brought clothes and shoes for refugee children.
At 4 in the morning, Tzu Chi volunteers in Jordan left Amman for the border with Iraq and Syria, which is about 375 kilometers away. During the 6-hour trip, the volunteers had to endure the desert dust. Tzu Chi volunteers are delivering 1,000 sets of children's clothes and 500 pairs of second-hand shoes. There have been more and more refugees at the border, and the relief supplies the volunteers are giving cannot keep up with the demand.
Everyone will get 2 sets of clothing and 1 pair of shoes. All these goods came from loving people in Taiwan.
The distribution this time is the result of Tzu Chi's cooperation with Hashmit. After the goods are distributed, they will also distribute 10,000 parcels of food.
Tzu Chi volunteers came from a faraway place to care for us, so we should cherish these goods.
There are over 12,000 refugees at the border, so they need more water than the amount provided by the 5 water trucks every day. Tzu Chi volunteers hope to devise a good plan with other charity groups to solve this issue.
The first batch of Tzu Chi blankets from Taiwan arrived in Alberta, Canada on May 20th and were immediately distributed to some of the wildfire victims. Upon learning that these blankets have been made from recycled PET bottles and a thicker yarn, a member of the Legislative Assembly of Alberta expressed his gratification to Tzu Chi volunteers for their hard work.
As soon as volunteers get ready to leave and meet up with victims of the Alberta wildfire, they encounter a sudden downpour, which comes at a much-needed time.
It's raining. This is great. Keep it up, everybody.
Also, the first batch of Tzu Chi's signature blankets arrived in Canada and was immediately distributed to local residents, who were happy to know that they have something to help keep the cold at bay.
Thank you.
A member of the Legislative Assembly of Alberta also expressed his gratification to the volunteers upon learning that these blankets were made from recycled PET bottles and extra thick yarn for the victims of the wildfire.
Try to work hard to give the good to the health.
Since May 16th, volunteers have distributed blankets, pillows and towels to more than 6,000 local residents. And as a token of their appreciation, volunteers also gifted emergency workers Jingsi aphorism booklets, which greatly inspired them.
Great for us, it really touched our hearts, and this is fantastic.
At the end of the event, volunteers lead everyone in prayer in the hopes to bring about a world of peace and harmony.
Prior to the arrival of Tzu Chi blankets from Taiwan in Canada, Tzu Chi Canada chapter helped distribute towels, pillows, and other supplies to residents affected by the wildfire. Let's take a look.
The fires in the forests of Alberta continue to spread, now having burned through a total of 505,000 hectares. More than 2,400 firefighters have been working to put out the fire. Here at the Distribution Center for Edmonton's Emergency Relief Association, various volunteers from different groups are all organizing supplies to be distributed to the disaster victims. On May 18th, Tzu Chi Canada chapter had prepared 2,300 towels and 1,200 pillows to be distributed, along with other goods to 1,246 local residents.
The blankets we offer are eco-friendly blankets, especially in consideration of the current forest fires, which have been caused by global warming. The concept of environmental protection is really relevant, so they are kind of a reminder about the importance of this issue.
The blankets given to disaster victims here in Canada represent the warmth and love of Tzu Chi, while at the same time delivering a message about protecting the environment and recycling.
Tzu Chi's Cash for Relief program in Ecuador is helping Ecuadorians get their lives back on track following the recent earthquakes. Currently, the priority for the people of Canoa is not just rebuilding their own homes, but also working to revive business in the city. Let's take a look at the latest cleanup effort.
Before the earthquake in Ecuador, Canoa's economy was mostly dependent on tourism. Since most of the hotels and restaurants in Canoa collapsed, people are now without jobs. Hence, Cash for Relief participants are working hard to clear the debris in order to revive their tourism industry.
Este edificio funcionaba como un hostal. Yo soy el dueño.
This building used to be a hotel and I'm the owner. The quake destroyed everything. I saw my hotel crumble before my eyes. It was a heavy blow. Now everything is destroyed. We've lost our livelihood and our main source of income.
Agobiados porque esta ha sido nuestra fuente de trabajo y al terminarse esto, pues nosotros nos quedamos sin trabajo.
Clearing the debris and rebuilding is a top priority for many of the participants of Tzu Chi's Cash for Relief program, who are anxious to get their jobs back.
Although we didn't get paid before, we were still helping clear away the debris. By taking part in this Cash for Relief program today, we're salvaging what is still usable.
You have come from so far away to help us, not by just giving us food, but providing us with job opportunities. You have taught us how to rise on our own and how to move forward.
I'll be here every day and hope to do a little more. Even once the program ends, I'll keep coming to help residents clean the rubble every day.
It's really difficult now, but we won't give up. We will work together to rebuild our homes. Within half a day, most of the hotels were cleaned up. so that the owners can begin planning to build the foundation for new hotels and put some Kanoans back to work.
Estoy contento legalmente por la fundación que nos está apoyando, por la fundación.
I'm so thankful to the Tzu Chi Foundation for coming such a long way and reaching out to us.
Nosotros estamos muy agradecidos. Yo quiero salir adelante con fuerza.
I want to move forward, even though I'm old. But I thank God I still have my family, and together we will rebuild.
Estamos dispuestos a salir adelante, sí.
South African city volunteers recently visited Johannesburg's Lincolnville community. The volunteers also reminded themselves about the importance of remaining humble and respectful when interacting with the residents.
Every Tzu Chi volunteer visit to the poor in South Africa seems to be accompanied by song. Tzu Chi volunteers frequently kneel or squat in order to show humility and get a better perspective on the condition of the poor and infirm.
This is a blessing from Taiwan's Master Zheng Yan to be given to those whom visit. When you pray, you can hold this wisdom and blessing red envelope in your palms or under your pillow, and your suffering will be kept far away.
Rather unexpectedly, the volunteer group convenes a special meeting before traveling to the next household.
Is to try to get more people.
If we don't have their approval, we cannot take any picture. They must agree. We also need to clearly say these images will be sent to Master Zheng Yan. The images of these poor people are meant to be a record. We must always stay humble and respect poor people. This is something that is very important to Tzu Chi. We can feel superior or have an arrogant attitude.
The volunteers work to improve their home visitations because they understand the Buddha teaches us that all sentient beings are equal.
Some of the people are very suffering, so it is very touching. Sometimes we end up feeling crying, but as we are the members of Tzu Chi, we shouldn't be the one who always crying, but we should be the people who always try to bring hope to the people who are feeling hopeless. So for us, we must always stay strong.
The great mercy practiced in Mahayana Buddhism is expressed through Tzu Chi's commitment to South Africa, lighting a lamp to bring hope and illuminate the best practice.
In the aftermath of earthquakes in Kumamoto Prefecture in Kyushu Region, Japan, Tzu Chi volunteers from Tokyo traveled to the quake zone to provide hot meals and care. Tzu Chi's initial relief work has come to an end in Kumamoto, and as volunteers bid the residents farewell, they also promise to cherish this friendship.
A pot of pumpkin corn soup is brewing on the stovetop. For the past 3 weeks, the Tzu Chi Foundation has carried out relief work here in Kumamoto. While many residents have returned home, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to provide hot meals to those who remain behind in the evacuation center. As the weather in Kumamoto has been erratic as of late, 2 high school students were caught in the rain while on their way to volunteer at the evacuation center. Volunteers took them in and prepared 2 bowls of steaming noodle soup to warm their body. Tzu Chi's last hot meal distribution came to an end on May 13th, and volunteers sang a song to bid farewell to the residents of Kumamoto.
The people of Japan received so much assistance by international organizations such as yours during the Great East Japan earthquake. And now this time you came to Kumamoto to help us once again. We'll never forget what you have done for us.
We are truly grateful for your assistance this time around. I feel very honored and at ease that the Taiwanese have reached out to us and provided us with the necessary assistance in our daily life.
The past 3 weeks have gone by very quickly. We are thankful to have received such genuine assistance from you. Thank you.
Although thank you are just 2 simple words, however, they mean much more for residents of Kumamoto, as this affinity between residents and city volunteers marks the beginning of an everlasting friendship.
A Tzu Chi liaison office in Jiangsu's Kunshan held a special family event to teach children about filial piety. At the occasion, Tzu Chi volunteers led children to show gratitude to their parents by washing their feet.
These children are removing their parents' shoes and socks, an action that parents used to do for them. Today, the roles are reversed, and it may be the first time these children have washed the feet of their parents.
It's the first time that I have washed my mother's feet. Taking off shoes and socks led me to think about everything that I've done before, and I'm very sorry.
My mother has held me ever since I was young. With her own hands, she raised me and brought me up, as I now want to tell her that I love her.
About 280 parents and children participated in this event, demonstrating filial piety held at the Kunshan Tzu Chi Liaison Office.
I want to tell my mother that I am very sorry.
One parent, Tang Jing, has seen children become more considerate and respectful, leading her to look back upon her own actions. Therefore, she apologizes for her actions to her mother.
When my mother helps me care for my children, I have found that sometimes I do not know how to cherish her. While I can be respectful of other elder people, with my own mother, I sometimes let my emotions out.
After the foot washing ceremony was concluded, several pairs of mothers and children shared tears and hugs.
At various nursing homes and care facilities throughout Taipei, Tzu Chi volunteers hold regular monthly events to care for elderly residents. This month, there were special events commemorating the Buddha's birth, or joint events in Zhongzhen District and Beitou District.
Wanhua's Heng'an nursing home has carefully made arrangements for the Buddha blessing ceremony. Volunteers lead the elderly here in a solemn ceremony where participants bless the Buddha together.
At today's event, not only did they receive the blessings of the Buddha themselves, they also were given the chance to spread blessings. This really gives them hope and is a kind of spiritual support.
After completing the Buddha blessing ceremony, volunteers accompanied the seniors in a song and dance activity, helping the elderly get some exercise and feel young again.
Seeing everyone happy and smiling is really a blessing to us. We're thankful for these activities. They're good for everyone's spirit and their health.
In Beitou, there is a lively atmosphere at the Yiqing Park Retirement Home, where some children performed a song and dance for the seniors.
We really have so much gratitude here for Tzu Chi. You all have been here for years helping take care of the seniors. The seniors living here really look forward to seeing Tzu Chi every month.
At this tri-celebration, volunteers help those with difficulty moving to participate in the ceremony and reverently pay their respects to the Buddha.
If we can't all go run out to volunteer, we can still send our prayers and thoughts. This is a good deed we can all do.
With humility and pious devotion, these seniors make their blessings and pray for a world free from disasters and suffering.
In Indonesia, a group of Tzu Chis in Jakarta recently got together to make bracelets with recycled paper rolls, beads, and ribbons. While they relish in the joy of making bracelets to be given to their mothers, they also learn to be creative in using recycled materials. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.